It is. It is an easy one. No. I think the expected answer is like I'm known in Kelowna as a musician. I am a musician. It's something I identify with to the nth degree. I think everybody who knows me knows that. But music is, while it's a big part of my identity, it's not something that was ever the plan, so to speak. I was never looking to play instruments or sing or be in front of people. I still joke that I'm the least apt at being on stage doing what I do because I grew up very shy and reserved. And so getting into music was something that I just kind of picked a guitar up and taught myself how to play when I was 18 and spiraled from there and found myself in these positions and opportunities musically and started writing songs, and one thing led to another, and it's so easy to get lost in that. Like, yeah, music is all that I do. Music is all that I am. It is a very large part of me. Who I would be without music would be drastically different, and I don't know what that would look like, nor do I try to imagine it. Music can be a very tumultuous thing. It's a business of no's. It's a business of rejection. And how we grapple with that and how we move forward, I think it's goes hand in hand with how we grapple with rejection and loss in our personal lives. For me, music has always been a tool to harness my emotions and get them out there in a tangible way when I didn't know how. Music has been a saving grace. I mean, it's hard to think, it's scary to think of a world where music doesn't exist and how that would affect us all. I mean, for me, yeah, I'm known as Windmills. A lot of people don't know my first name. That's hilarious. But yeah, people hear my name like, oh, I didn't realize you had a first name, which is a strange thing to even think of. But yeah, you're like, you Dutch? No, no, I'm an imposter. But music is me. It flows through me. It's not all that I do, but it is a large part of what I do, and I'm proud to be able to do it. I know I'm in a very privileged position to be able to do it, and at the level that I am. Without music, I would still be me, but I would have less of an opportunity to express my emotions, I think, in a healthy way for myself.
I like the way you put that. Do you feel like if you weren't, well, okay, I'll kind of rephrase, because people don't know your songs, but it doesn't mean you wouldn't be unique.
Yeah.
So if you weren't as well known as you are through your art, do you feel like you would be journaling? Do you feel like you would kind of be telling stories? Just because storytelling is kind of that.
Yeah.
It's those mediums combined. So do you feel like you would gravitate more to like journaling things out, or you gravitate more to talking to friends or a loved one or loved ones and be like, here's how I'm feeling, so you're talking about that shyness. So without kind of the bigger scale, how do you feel? Would you talking, journaling? What would you?
In recent years, it has been journaling. Yeah. It's really interesting. Whenever I set off to make a record, I will start journaling about that record and what that process will look like. And one day I was just curious as to why I'm not doing that in my personal life as just a means to express those emotions that aren't coming out in the music side. I mean, without music, I am a very emotional person, music or not. And I will talk to my friends, I'll talk to my family, I'll talk to my partner, I'll talk to everybody. Partly just to have those conversations. But because without it, what's the alternative? Just to hold it all in, and then you're doing yourself a disservice. I mean, I write a bunch of songs that no one will ever hear, but I write them for myself. I mean, I think music can be a really selfish art form in the sense, and I don't mean to slander musicians everywhere. For myself, I think I've looked at it like being a solo artist. I'm writing the songs. I have my hand in every kind of element of it, the marketing, the production, all of these little things. And I'm not listening to kind of external forces or that outside help that we need. So I think we can close in, which is a funny thing when you think of how expressive music can be. It is not a selfish thing when you really think about it. You're allowing other people to connect in ways that you never really imagined. Sit down to write a song, the end result is so different from the beginning. I don't think many of us sit down to write a song because we want to hit 1 million streams on Spotify. It's like, sweet, that would be awesome, but that defeats the purpose of creation.
Totally. So you feel like it doesn't go kind of inward, because I feel like it's in any sort of artistry, whether it be any medium of art or sports or anything like that, there's that performative side where everybody sees like when the lights are on and it's and like want to be that guy. But then there's like the struggle. I'm not saying this is you, but it's like there's the struggle in the back room or whatever. Be like, what am I going to even tell these people?
Yeah.
Like I have this thing coming up in 6 months or whatever.
Yeah.
So I think it's cool that you kind of touched on that, how it's you get there and that part's fun, but it's not. You don't just snap your fingers and be like, well, I'm just going to go perform it. There's a whole story there.
And it's taxing. I'm on the verge. I'm not on the verge. I'm taking a break, and I have 3 shows left this summer. And for a musician in the summer in the Okanagan, it's absurd to be stopping. But I'm noticing that the more I go and go and go, I don't want to lose the joy of being a musician and the joy of performing. But I also don't want to lose Cory versus Windmills. I think it's very easy having a stage name or persona. You get on stage, it's something. You get off stage, and then it's not defeatist, but you're just exhausted. You're empty. You're depleted. And even for me now, I'm noticing going into these shows the week before, like I'm anxious. I'm not sleeping well. I'm struggling because I want to be able to offer something to the audience that's different. If someone saw me 2 months ago, I don't want them to see the same show.
Yeah, I get that.
But the fun thing about what we view a musician as, it's just like on stage, bright lights, everything is really cool and everything is really exciting, but I think a lot of us struggle with that in between. And maybe it's like an adrenaline junkie thing where we're chasing that next kind of high.
Yeah, you gotta climb that mountain.
Yeah. Music is just the way that we do it, and our form of storytelling. Storytelling is audible.
Right.
It's not written down, it's not spoken. It exists in all these different ways that it could and very easily couldn't at the same time.
Right. So do you feel like you have, even in your memories, do you feel like you have Cory kind of like happy, kind of like things, and then you have Windmills happy, like this was a good gig, or like I felt good here, or like interact? Do you feel like you have almost like 2 separate mountains?
I did for a while.
Yeah.
And it kind of got a little murky to navigate because it's like, okay, if Cory wasn't doing well, then does Windmills pick him up to help him? And then is that not kind of focusing on what I can do here to help myself? I'm using Windmills as this external idea to catapult myself back to being good or normal or okay. So in the last year, I've really made a conscious effort to kind of break down those 2 worlds, those 2 kind of identities. Windmills and Cory are it's just me at the same time at the end of the day. So it is interesting because there's core memories as a human and there's core memories as a musician.
That's it.
But if we can marry the 2 of them, and then it's all core memory. Music just happens to be what's going on at that time.
Yeah.
It's changing the narrative a little bit, making it more human in a way. Well, not in a way, it is human.
Yeah, it's all human. And I laugh at sometimes like with my friends with sports, like if you get hurt on the field, and then somebody sees you out at dinner or something like that, and you're still limping, people don't. Like, well, you were there, but how come you're limping here? It's like it's the same angle.
Exactly.
So I think that's a cool. The fact that you see that and that you're living that, I think is super sweet because we have enough examples up there of how it goes if you don't see that, and you're always chasing that. Like if you want to call higher that persona, then it does get weird and you can lose yourself. So I think it's pretty cool.
And there's no real benefit too. I feel like you're just doing a disservice to yourself.
Totally.
Becoming something that you're not, or all the things that you're afraid you can become, you end up becoming if you don't pay attention to the signs, pay attention to where that is coming from.
Yeah.